Hi there, it's Driftwood speaking, and I know I haven't recorded anything in English for a long time, and for that I apologize, obviously, but it's been difficult to handle all the content on the website. Just the two of us, Dafto and I, and recently Dafto was first busy with work a lot. The end of August or in early September, and then he got sick, and it was actually quite frightening. Apparently, things seem to be going in the right direction now. So fingers crossed, and please send all your best wishes to Dafton because he deserves them. So he hasn't been able to help me at all, and so that's why I don't have time for English content anymore. So when it's a gameplay video, of course, I do try to set up the game in English so you can enjoy it better than the French community, obviously. But the reason why I'm not doing any English recording is also because I'm not quite sure that's what you guys expect from us, from me. I'm not quite sure you enjoy the content. Maybe I'm not interesting enough. Maybe my English is not good enough. Who knows? There might be many reasons. And the thing is, even on YouTube, people seem to give us thumbs down, and we don't quite get why. Sometimes we assume it's because it's in French and people mainly speak English and they don't like the French content, which I guess I could understand. But sometimes I tried in the past to record some English content and about the same games, reviews in English, and it didn't attract much attention or even much love. So please share. Tell us what you want in the comments. Tell us if you want me to do more English content like this. It's a GSY Offline video. I'm going today to tell you about the Plucky Squire. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I expected to come back from work earlier to record this on time, but you know, life, lots of unexpected surprises, and as a result I was not on time. Then I had trouble setting up the game in English for some reason, because there was no language option on Steam, so I had to change the language in Steam itself and restart Steam. Made me lose time, but I'm here now, and I'm going to show you just a tiny bit of the Plucky Squire and explain to you why I really enjoyed the ride, and I hope you guys appreciate the effort and you will show it to us, somehow, no matter how. I'm not gonna ask you to give us a thumbs up, because again, this is not who we are. Do what you want, but if you want to support us, whatever the content we make, it's probably more motivating to see that people do actually take the time to leave a nice comment or to give us a thumbs up if you really want on YouTube, or leave a comment on the website, because that would be nice. So what is the Plucky Squire? It's a game by All Possible Futures, as you can see, and it's a game that mixes 2D and 3D. It's a game that is very imaginative, very clever, very cute, and that in some way reminds me of Astrobot, because it's a game that puts a smile on my face throughout. And even though there are like some minor things that I might not like as much, or that I think are not as polished, for me, these are really nitpicky comments that I would make, but I will make them to explain to you. So without further ado, let's dive into not one full chapter of the Plucky Squire, but I'm going to show you something that was part of the preview code I was sent during the summer, and I was able to preview for the French audience. And sorry again, but I was on vacation, didn't have time to translate everything, and I know it's wrong. But again, remember, English is not my native language, and the time I give for Gamerside is really my time. It's not something I'm getting paid for. So sometimes I have to make a choice, and well, more often than not, you get to be the ones to be disappointed, I guess. So let's dive in. So as I said, the Plucky Squire mixes 2D and 3D. And the reason is because we play as a character that's from a children book, okay? And we play as one character mainly, but he's going to be accompanied by two friends. And let you enjoy the narration.
The sonnet swamps.
So you have a narrator, in English, obviously, if your native language is English. But there is a French version of the narrator. I don't know how many languages, but I think there are quite a few. So they put a lot of efforts in the localization of the game, which I think is great, because it's a game that can be enjoyed by children, but also by their parents, but also by people who don't have children and who like video games, quite simply. Moonbeard. Well, this is unknown territory. I'm not going to do the voices because I don't have time for this. But I'm going to show you how it plays. So when you're in the book, it's basically old-fashioned, old-style 2D adventure game, action-adventure game like Zelda, where you can move around, obviously, and you can use your sword to attack enemies. You can dodge, well, you can roll, rather, to dodge the attacks. And that's one of the things that can maybe reproach the game for, and again, because I'm being very nitpicky, is that combat is okay. It works. There's no problem with it. But it's nothing incredible either. Okay, it's some will argue that basically it's like Zelda. You can upgrade your moves. You can throw your sword. There's an attack, you jump and then you attack on the ground. So there's there's incentive to keep playing to get upgrades, gathering the light bulbs that you find on the way by hitting trees or bushes, because that's how, or killing enemies. And it's the combat is really not difficult. There are two difficulty settings, if I remember correctly. One is story and the other one is adventure. And it's really not difficult. There's a good variety of enemies. Some like them jump all the time. Some spits on your face and different things like that. But they don't really require different types of strategies really to beat them up. To beat them, sorry. Humgrump, is the enemy, and actually the French translation. Well, it's not a translation. It's actually a pretty clever way to call him. But I can't explain. So check it out. It sounds like rage quit, basically the French word, but it's meant to also mean something else. So this guy is the main enemy because he realized that he's just also a character in the story, and that's why he keeps losing all the time. So he uses his magic to push you out of the story, out of the book, which is why now there are two different places. There's the real world, and there's the book, where you can interact, change the reality in the story of the book, manipulating words, for example, but also the book itself. And it's, like I said in the beginning, it's really a game where you're going to be surprised all the time. There are many references to other genres of video games, which is really fun, especially the boss fights, that are actually to be considered more like mini games that can be skipped, by the way. Although again, they're never difficult. And you can see that when you fight, when you lose health, you're going to get hearts. By killing enemies, they're going to drop hearts. Or when you do like Link and get rid of the bushes all around you, you're going to get light bulbs, like I said, that will allow you to buy new skills, but also hearts when you lose health, which makes the game quite easy to play even when you're a child. But even if you find it too difficult, there are accessibility options You can assist jump, you can show the hidden portals, you can disable falling platforms, invincibility can be turned on, and the one-hit kill can be turned off or on. Oh no, you can make the game more difficult. I haven't tried this one, I have to confess. So when you find those, the portals Moonbeard was talking about, that's when you can leave the book and go into the real life, the real world. Trying to skip, and this is done pretty easily, and it's pretty cool. I mean, the way it looks, again, really nice, and that's part of the enjoyment that you get to feel when playing the game. It's all those surprises, the changes and the places you visit, and so now suddenly you're walking on the pages of the book, and no one can hit you, obviously, but there are also enemies that can actually be in the real world, although in this situation there's nothing to explore other than, you know, what's really just around the book. But there will be moments when you'll have to explore this room, this bedroom, I suppose it is, but for now I need to find another portal to go back into the story. Quite a lot of enemies here. You can, so yeah, there's different types of attacks that I have unlocked, like this one, for example. I can throw my sword, but I just don't remember exactly how because I haven't played in a few days. How am I supposed to do that? Thought it was. No, that's strange. It's supposed to be the right trigger, so for some reason it doesn't work. Which is odd because it should be working since I have this attack that I think I unlocked after the other one, but never mind that. No. I encountered a few bugs on my way that forced me to go back to the main menu and then just launch the game again. And then everything was fine. I don't know exactly if it will be sorted out in time for release or shortly after release, but it didn't bother me that much, right? It was never stuck forever. But that's very strange that I can't throw my sword, so I'm actually puzzled. So I found the key. I need to bring back over there, but there are a few enemies in my way. And so you get slowed down when you walk into that goo thing. There we go. So normally I would just, collect all the light bulbs I could, but I'm not going to do that. In order to show you as many things as possible in the shortest amount of time. Which would be nice, because I know that lengthy videos are not always enjoyed by people because they don't have time, which I can understand because I don't always have time myself. Simple as that. I really wonder what it's like out there. So they're aware I can do things and I can leave the story. They don't know what it looks like because they can't. I have this power. So sometimes we can see that it switches to another type of 2D sort of angle view. And like in Mario, you can actually jump onto the heads of enemies and you can kill them this way. So like I said, it's there are lots of surprises, and this is what makes the game so appealing, engaging, endearing. All the adjectives, the positive adjectives you could think of, basically. So yeah, that was not very smart on my part. So there's nothing here, there's no puzzles or anything, but there are moments when you need to activate a certain number of things. One thing that I maybe regret a little bit, you cannot go back down if you want. You know, this is something you would naturally do in any game. You press down and the jump button and you do that, but it doesn't work here, so there's no going back when you are in these well, let's continue. I'm not gonna die here. So here I reach another interesting moment, because it's I think it's the first time, maybe the second time, can't remember exactly. So I think it's the fourth chapter in the story, but you realize that you can interact with words. Some words can be changed to modify either the environment itself or something or someone in the environment. Quite obviously here, the problem is we had this bug, huge, big ass bug that actually is in the way, and I can't go past it. So I need to find a way to make it move. But here you can see there's a tiny frog observed the bug, and maybe I can, well, you can see that the word tiny is actually glowing. So this is what the word I need to get from there to put it here, so then the bug will be tiny. And by the way, there's no reason to do that, but if you'd like, you can actually make the frog huge if you want to see something funny. Although you will need the word huge later also. I'll show you that. But let's go on the right for now. Very strange that I can't use my throwing ability. I've been playing so many games lately, Data Rising also. And by the way, if you do enjoy this, presentation video, it'd be nice if you could let me know, because then maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, I can record a presentation video of Dead Rising. A review is already up, a video review is already up on the French side, but I couldn't record it in English. I didn't have the time, because I was playing actually 3 to 4 games. I've been playing 3 to 4 games for over a week and a half, trying to play them as much as possible. There's so much you can do. At some point you gotta get some sleep. Gotta go to work too. So I couldn't. But if you enjoy this type of presentation video in English, I can show you Dead Rising in the same way tomorrow, because we are free to show the game, let's say, more thoroughly, showing you like longer gameplay clips, playing, almost like streaming. I will not stream the game, but I will actually record as if it were live, so you can see the game. So here you can see that I could climb down here, but what I need is actually to get to that lever over there. So there's the word drained that I could change, and if I use full, then water is going to fill the whole place, and now I can cross. So again, it was very clever, not very difficult to sort it out, to find the solution. But then again, I don't know, maybe some people will struggle more, and there are times when it's more scripted and guided, if you will, and that you will be guided by by the wizard, who's like a sort of mentor to you. And he will introduce you to some gameplay mechanics, to some new gameplay mechanics. But there are times when you will have to use whatever you have to actually figure out yourself what skills or what mechanic you can use to leave the page where you are, because that's basically everything you have to do. You have to find a way to continue to keep going. So here the word open is important, because we have a closed gate and we need to open it. There you go. And now I can reach, finally, this word, tiny, that I need. And can put it here instead of huge. And the bug, as a result, will become very tiny. And so, goodbye, tiny insect dude. Awesome job. We can move on. And it's really, and I'm not just I'm just showing you this passage, not because it's going to keep being this way and using the same mechanics, but because I don't want to spoil anything, and I can't give you too many examples of what you can do later on in the game, because that would be spoilery, and that would be a shame, because part of the enjoyment, much like in Astrobot, is to discover what you can do. There is something else here that I'm going to show you, and it's that here you can see that we're stuck. When the bridge has collapsed, there's a lily pad in the middle, but it's tiny. And well, ideally we'll need a big one so we can maybe use it as a bridge. So there are a few enemies there. Yeah, actually I have this attack, but I don't have the throw attack. I don't know why. This is so weird. So you can ask this guy, who is a smaller version of our wizard friend, when you're stuck and you want some tips. But I don't need any tips because I know the game. I can leave the story, leave the book. I can manipulate it, and I can go back, because a few pages ago, if you remember, we left the word huge. I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna pick it up. And then I'm going to go back where I was, so I can use this word to help me cross the river. And it's, again, I'm gonna keep repeating it, but it's so clever, it's so smart. It's so also fresh. It's something that we haven't played before. And at the same time, it's very simple, in a way. So magically, well, that's a big lily pad. Huge one, yeah. And even this can be a surprise, right? You expect it to get bigger, but not that big. And so it puts a smile on your face, like I said before. Also, we're going to see here a mini game. It's very, very simple, but that's, you know, it's something that you'll do once, basically. So that's also what I like. There's a lot of variety, and all the boss fights. I mean, it's a reference to another video game genre, and it's a very specific mechanic. Maybe there's one boss where I thought, but well, it's not the best idea ever. But other than that, it was so fun. See, you need to catch the fish. And obviously when I record, I do a terrible job. My defense, in the French video review, I caught it the first try. Even had an achievement for this. But well, you know. So then you get to talk to the fish.
Grabbed. The Plucky Squire gently released the fish into the water.
And yeah, obviously you play as the Plucky Squire.
And there it regained.
Who has a name, but maybe I don't spoil it for you. I don't remember if he's called by his name during the sequence I'm showing you. Probably. You'll see. He never speaks though. His friends, they do, but not him. I mean, it's so cute. I mean, visually, the 2D world is really... it's just too cute to be true, honestly. And the animations, they're so nice. But the 3D world's actually pretty polished too. It's a different type of art style in a way, although you recognize the characters, the monsters, and everything.
The sounds
But
of the daytime
it's a bit
chorus
different, and
began
the fact
to
that
fade,
it's just one camera angle,
and the
it
light
can make. I wouldn't say it
began
makes
to dwindle.
platforming tricky, but I would say, like, if there was another nitpick I could mention, is that maybe it's not as easy to control as in the 2D world, because it's a bit less precise. But honestly, there's no real... You don't get punished for missing a jump or something. You know, you're not going to die. You're just, start over. So it's just really not a big deal. So here there's another mechanic, still relying on the word thing. But you can see here that there are like toads, I think they are. I mean, they're big, so they must be toads and not frogs. And it's at night, okay? And the thing is, it's probably different during the day, but we need to find a way to help the sunrise, okay? The bridge was broken quite easily. We need to find a way to fix the bridge. So now we're going to leave the book, go back inside. Can I? No, I can't, because if I go here, I'll be stuck here anyway, because I'll need this big stone to block this so I can get access to solid that I can use to fix the bridge. So we need to find the word day, obviously. It's apparently not on this page, so how about we try to go back, try to turn a few pages and see if maybe we missed it. Let's check it out. I mean, the game helps you in a way. So if I go back, see here, it's glowing. It means there's something here, something interesting, something we need to check. And yeah, what do you know? There's a portal here. And the word daytime. And if you paid attention, actually, that was quite easy to see, because that's what the narrator said before. So first time I played, I realized I had to go back because, well, I remembered that daytime had been used by the narrator just one page before. So daytime. What happens in daytime? The toads move. Which means, great, we can have access to this area and kill the enemies there. And once you kill all the enemies, usually it means you can open a gate. Now that the gate's open, I can grab this, take it over there. Take the word, but as you can see now, I can't go past this guy because he's sleeping and he's in the way. I need to go back to nighttime. Then I can replace broken by solid. And then you might think, well then, this is it. Except that, oh no, I'm blocked. So let's go back to daytime, you might think. Except if I do this, then there's no way I can reach the bridge anymore because of this guy who's blocking the way. Okay, so what do I have to do? Well, if you're interested in the solution, I can show you, obviously. Oh. No. So I need to do something before. So it needs to be daytime first. I'm going to need this. That I will take over there. Okay, night. And push you. Also very, very nice sound design, musics and everything. It's so great. And then I'm going to block this guy here. Back to daytime. It's all very logical. And you might tell me, well, but then you can't go over there. But yes, I can, because I can't get out of the book. of the storybook and then use the other portal to enter again. And now I can push this and reach the stairs that will take me to the next page and to another sequence like this one where there is more of a puzzle. So I'm going to use this first to get out of the book. I'm going to need sort of, yeah, I don't know if it's a boulder or a crate. It's all dark, so it's hard to know. But I will take into the real world so that I can bring it back inside the book to use it to be able to, oops, see here, get here. I was hit. But you can see, you know, I lost a bit of health, and then they almost immediately gave me a heart. So it's really not an unforgiving game, which is obviously not a problem. So here I will do this again. More or less obvious here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to take it here. And this is easy because I remember. I actually have better memory than I thought. And now I can leave this page. But you can see it's really not difficult, but it will force you to think, and sometimes maybe you'll think more than you need to, because what's obvious will probably not be first, and then you'll figure it out. And this is all the rewarding aspect of the game. It's not in the combat, it's more in the, okay, I know, I understood, I get what you want me to do, and it's fun. And to finish, again, like I said, I'm not going to show you the whole chapter as it's quite long, but I will show you the 3D world and what can happen in the 3D world. Because when you're in the reality of the world, when you're in the real world, it doesn't mean it's only 3D, because there's a mix between 3D and 2D, because you'll have to jump into sketches or drawings that are scattered around the bedroom, Sam's bedroom. Sam is the child who's actually drawing the story, writing the story, and you need to make sure he'll become sort of writer, and someone able to write children's book later when he's a grown-up. And so for that you need to make sure that your nemesis will not ruin everything. So as you can see here, suddenly the bedroom looks very different. The world is filled with many different places. Here the theme is the castle, okay? So it's like feudal times, and you get that card that you need to reach. So like I said, there's a bit of control over the camera, but it's really limited, which can be a bit tricky sometimes, as you don't see as well as you'd like. And you can probably miss a jump or two, but again, it's never frustrating, because this does not mean that you're going to die or fall to your death. And if you remember, in the accessibility options, you can actually deactivate the risk of falling, if I remember correctly. The 3D world looks very nice too. I like the way the surfaces, you know, it actually does look like paint, and many things, you know, it's a bit like this game that with Tinykin, that French game that I loved and that I would advise you to check out if you haven't, which came out last year, I think, where you play, you know, and it's a bit like Toy Story, or in this, you know, a real world, places in rooms in a house, and you're all tiny, and this feels nice, like, you know, that movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids from my childhood. So it's really nice, and the texture work is really cool. I mean, overall, and it could be more detailed, I guess, but sometimes. But overall, it works fine. So let me show you. So see these enemies that we saw before, and you can actually recognize them very well. very faithful to their 2D counterparts. And pretty soon you're going to see that it's not just about being in this 3D world and interacting with 3D objects. And by the way, be very, very careful, because here, I don't know if you spotted it, but there's a hidden collectible. It's like art you can collect. Also tiny birds that you can collect. So again, like very simple progression here. Pretty straightforward. And it could look a bit, you know, okay, I've been there, I've seen that before, I've played that before, so what's the big deal? But again, the smart thing is that sometimes you'll run into these sketches, there's drawings that are, you know, I don't know, stuck or hanged in the backdrop of, you know, the bedroom, and you'll enter them just like you did in the book, and you can interact with the objects that you can find there to use to bring back the object in the 3D world, so you can use them to continue to progress in the level. And it's brilliant. Okay, it's brilliant, it's really well done, and I really like this is a passage I think I've fallen in love with this passage, specifically the moment when you cross between the two towers of the castle. So here, I need to get up there. Oops. And this, look at this. I mean, come on. This is incredibly, I mean, imaginative, as I said. It's so well done. I love it. So here there are enemies outside. But I need to get in there first. So same enemies, just 2D versions of the enemies. Those are really, really easy to beat. Since I've beaten everyone, I think you need to beat the 3D ones to open the gate here. That would make sense. Okay, let's exit. What I love also is that, you know, you're in this 2D world that is actually in a 3D world, and then if you go left, I mean you're on the other side of the tower really, but you're still evolving in a 2D environment, which again I find looks great, and it works so well. And again, you know, combat could be maybe more interesting, could be a bit more precise, I guess, but it's really not a big deal at the end of the day. What you remember of the Plucky Squire after you played it, it's that you had fun, that they managed to surprise you from the very beginning to the end. So, which is basically why I make the parallel with Astrobot, because that's exactly what Astrobot did with me. It was just, it put a smile on my face, sorry, from the beginning to the end, because I kept being surprised, and that's what the and maybe in a different way. Obviously, it's not the same sort of, you know, world and mechanics. Things are different a little bit, but it works so well. So yeah, for me, like the two highlights of September, and there are actually a good number of good games that came out already, but for me the two highlights would be Astrobots on PlayStation 5 and the Plucky Squire, which is available on PlayStation 5. If you're a PlayStation Extra or Premium member, you get it for free, so nothing more to pay, because it's available as of today. But if you want to switch an Xbox Series X or S or a PC, you can still play the game. And you can see here that we get to this point when we reach this card. Might and Magic fans, you're going to be very happy, where you need to talk to this elf girl, ranger, female ranger, and you get to have a very specific sequence in which, old school style, you're going to have to fight or talk to her or guard. So you get, turn-based, very short passages. That's not exactly a boss fight, but that can be considered as one. And every time you have this, you can skip the minigame if you really don't want to play it, if you think it's too frustrating. I have never felt this way about any of the minigames. Even the one that I actually complained about during the preview, where you had a cursor to move around, and actually it comes after this sequence, but you have to move a cursor around to aim at enemies. And in the preview build, it felt very slow and sluggish, and it's actually better now. It's not the best sequence, the boss fight sequence or the mini game that you'll play, and there are many others, and they're all very fun and very surprising, and mostly very short too. And they are all references to past games, basically. Video games, or in the case of Might and Magic, was not just a video game. So I think a lot of people will be pleased by that. And I think that's it for today for me. Again, all I can say is the Plucky Squire is an extremely enjoyable game. It's a fun game to play. It's €30 or $30, which I think is okay. I mean, I would have paid 30 bucks or 30 euros for this, but I know a lot of people don't want to pay $30 for an independent game. It's published by Devolver Digital and developed by All Possible Futures. And yeah, honestly, I think it's worth your time. If you enjoyed what you saw, I mean, you're in for a treat. Now, the nitpicks I mentioned, the combat that is just, standard, nothing spectacular about the combat, it works. But probably could be more precise sometimes. But maybe because I was careless, because I knew it was not difficult, and so I got hit, and I could have avoided some of the attacks. And in the 3D world, the moving around and maybe the platforming, but the platforming is actually not that present in the 3D world. It's not a platformer per se. I mean, there are platforming sequences sometimes, and in the 3D world it works. But because you can't move the camera, I guess some people might be bothered a little bit. But it's not like you're going to die every time you fail. So I think you should be fine. Well, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and stuck with me until the end. If you did, well, let me know in any way you can. So, like I said, comment is nice. Thumbs up is nice. If you want to give it a thumbs down, please do. But if you could justify this, explain to me what you don't want, what you don't like on the channel, on the website. Maybe we can try to improve and do what you'd like best for us to do. Well, anyway, that's it for me now. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.